What's up everyone, and welcome back to a new video here on this channel. In this one we're gonna change out the springs on my Toyota GT86 to a set of lowering springs that is a little bit stiffer but still maintains the original ride quality. But first of all, let's go ahead and apply a quick layer of some ceramic coating. And I'm using Scion rim here, which is very suitable for these types of areas where it gets a lot of dirt and splatter from the roads. Of course, it will not last forever, but it's still better than nothing, and it will make the cleaning process much easier in the future. In order to remove the strut in the front, you need to remove the attachment for the brake hose, the ABS sensor or the wheel speed sensor, as well as the anti-roll bar link. The hose for the brake fluid is held on with a 12mm screw, and then the wheel speed sensor is just held on with two plastic clips. Now, in many cases, you can just sap off the nut of the anti-roll bar link with an impact gun if you have a powerful enough, but sometimes the nut just keeps spinning with the stud, so you need to counter hold it with an Allen wrench. And then I just remove the two nuts right here, but I'm gonna keep one of the bolts still attached, so that everything just don't fall down on me when I loosen the top three nuts on the strut tower. They are 12mm. And I just mark one of the studs just in case. I think this top hat is symmetrical, but you never know, so you might as well just mark one of them so you know how everything should be put back. Then I remove that last bolt and everything is free from here on. Take care not to dent or scratch the bodywork when removing the strut. Now, these springs on this particular car doesn't come with a lot of preload at all. Some cars can have a lot of tension already applied on the springs, so be mindful with that. It's always better to use spring compressors than not, just in case. But as we're gonna see later on with the rear springs, I actually didn't have to use them at all, because the only preload that was applied on the springs was because of well, the threads of the nut, really. Then just remove all of the parts from the spring itself and fit them over to the new spring. And as we can see here, it's physically shorter already. Now is a good time to just check the function of the damper itself. It should be relatively hard to depress, and it should slowly come back to its upper state. Make sure that the spring is seated in its proper position, both in the bottom and at the top. And that is done, so it's just to refit everything in reverse order. These types of McPherson struts is really easy to do spring and damper job on, with the two bolts that holds it to the knuckle. I really like that design. It's super simple, way easier than the last time I did a spring job, which was on the Volvo 740. It sure did not make it easier if everything is rusted as well, which was the case with my 30-year-old Volvo. If you're interested in seeing all the torque specs, make sure to check out the description. I'll be posting all of the torque specs right there. And that is the front done. Let's go ahead and move to the rear. In order to remove the rear struts, you need to remove the inner linings in the trunk. And the side linings right there are just held on with a number of clips that you just pop off like that with a plastic tool. And then 2 nuts and studs are exposed on either side. So you just loosen them up with a 14mm wrench, but not all the way, just loosen them up so that a couple of threads are still on. To do the springs in the rear, it's a bit more to it. The strut is attached to this control arm right here. Well, there's no hole right beneath it, so you can't just pull it out after you've disattached it. So you actually need to, I think, remove it here, this bolt, the bolt for the anti-roll bar link, and this suspension sensor or whatever it is. And also loosen this just a little bit so I can swing this whole control arm out of the way like that, and then I can remove the strut. Right now, when I'm recording this voiceover, it's been about a week since I did this job, and I can say that the springs feels absolutely amazing. I don't have really much to compare it to. These are the only set of lowering springs I've tried for this particular model, the Toyota GT86 or the Subaru BRZ, but compared to the stock suspension, they feel really good. It's a little bit stiffer and a firmer ride, but it still maintains the original ride comfort to a very good degree. But yeah, it definitely feels firmer and more planted on the road, and it also looks way better, I think, because the wheel gap is pretty much filled out. But we're gonna have a look at the results by the end of the video. And as we can see here, when all of the fasteners are removed, you can just swing the whole control arm. And right here for the nut that holds on the top hat, I actually needed to counter hold that. Sometimes you can just remove them completely with an impact gun, but in some cases you need to counter hold it because the damper rod just keeps spinning with the nut. But once you've done that, it's pretty much the same process as with the front springs. You just remove everything and transfer the new spring onto the old components. So sorry for not filming this, but it's not particularly fun to just watch me fiddle around with this for 15 minutes. But anyways, you just get it in there first, this bolt in first, and then you just raise everything up. I raised it up with my knee, just so the two bolts up in the strut tower fit in. And once they are in, I just put in the anti-roll bar link, and then you're good to go from there. Then you can just release everything and also come up here and just thread in these nuts on these studs right here. And then from here on, it's pretty easy. The hard part is over to fiddle around with everything. So now we just tighten up all of the bolts, but not when they're like this. We need to put some weight up under it. So that's what I'm gonna do next. So, and the reason you do that is because these bushings right here, when you tighten them, if you tighten them like this, when it's up in the air, you're gonna create a binding effect. When you lower the car on the ground, the control arm is going to go up on this side, and then it's gonna try to twist this rubber bushing, but remember, it's already screwed in place, and that's no good. So yeah, I'm just gonna raise it up with a jack and a 2x4 just up underneath here until I notice that it starts to lift up a little bit right here, and then I'm gonna tighten everything down. So there we have it. This is how it looks right now. I can definitely tell that it's gotten a bit lower. Honestly, I think it looks perfect, just absolutely perfect. It's gonna look really, really nice with the new 18-inch wheels that are coming very, very soon. So stay tuned if you wanna see that. I think I'm gonna install them when it's time for the detail video. I'll do that in one single video. But yeah, anyways, make sure that you check all of the fasteners after you've taken it for a test drive, because yeah, some of them can come loose when the suspension starts to settle in and the seats everywhere. And actually it can take up to a couple of days for the suspension to set completely. Just a couple of days of normal driving, but as it sits right now, it's looking pretty nice. And I maxed out the camber in the front with the stock suspension. I think it looks just right. More camber than that, and I think it looks pretty silly, honestly, in my opinion. But yeah, it looks really nice. I'm super happy with the results. So that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't, like the video, and comment. And as always, take care. I'll see you next time. Bye.